Everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Last time we went over the new rogue in the new player's handbook, and today we will be going over the new sorcerer subclass. So, right out the gate, their primary spellcasting ability is Charisma. They get a hit point die of 1d6 per sorcerer level. They are proficient in Constitution and Charisma. Of their skill proficiencies, they get to choose two. They get Arcana, Deception, Insight, Intimidation, Persuasion, or Religion as their options. Now, they are proficient in simple weapons, but they're probably not going to be using much of those. They are proficient in no armor at all. For their starting equipment, they get to choose a spear, 2 daggers, an arcane focus, a crystal, Dungeoneer's pack, and 28 gold pieces, or just 50 gold pieces. Now, sorcerers wield innate magic that is stamped into their being. Some sorcerers can't name the origin of their power, while others trace it to strange events in their personal or family history. The blessing of a dragon or dryad at baby's birth, or the strike of lightning from a clear sky might spark a sorcerer's gift. So, too, might the gift of a deity expose you to the strange magic of another plane of existence, or a glimpse into the inner workings of reality. Whatever the origin, the result is a indelible mark on the sorcerer, a churning magic that can be passed down through generations. Sorcerers don't learn magic. The raw, roiling power of magic is part of them. The essential art of a sorcerer is learning to harness and channel that innate magic, allowing the sorcerer to discover new and staggering ways to unleash their power. As sorcerers master their innate magic, they grow more attuned to its origin, developing distinct powers that reflect its source. Sorcerers are rare. Some family lines produced exactly one sorcerer every generation, but most of the time the talents of sorcery appear as a fluke. People who have this magical power soon discover that it doesn't like to stay quiet. A sorcerer's magic wants to be wielded. So they're just, they're natural. So, becoming a sorcerer. At level 1 you gain all the core traits and the level 1 features. Now as a multi-class you get the hit die and the core traits and their level 1 features. So, let's have a look here. Level 1 they gain their spell casting. So, all of their stuff's based off Charisma. You know 4 sorcerer cantrips of your choice. Light, Prestidigitation, Shocking Grasp, and Sorcerer's Burst are recommended. I don't know why. Personally, I don't really care for Light, as most races have Dark Vision. Sorcerer's Burst, however, is a new cantrip that I am enjoying. And it, essentially what it does is, it's a d8 damage to start out, but whenever you roll an 8 on the damage die, you get to roll, whoa, my light! You get to roll another d8, which is pretty good, all things considered. Sorry about that. Now, whenever you gain a sorcerer level, you can replace one of your cantrips from this feature with another sorcerer cantrip of your choice. When you reach levels 4 and 10, you learn another sorcerer cantrip of your choice as shown in the cantrips column of the sorcerer features table. Spell slots. You have spell slots because you're a spellcaster, and you prepare spells just like everything else. Now to start, you choose 2 level 1 sorcerer spells. Burning Hands and Detect Magic are recommended. I can appreciate that. Those are pretty good spells. And your spells increase as you gain levels. So let's have a look-see. Alright. Here is the aforementioned table. So, sorcerer spells, let's see. Now, changing your prepared spells. Whenever you gain a sorcerer level, you can replace one spell on their list with another spell for a level which you have spell slots. Charisma, as I said, is your ability, and you can use an arcane focus as your spellcasting focus for your sorcerer spells. Now, at level 1, you have innate sorcery. An event in your past left an indelible mark on you, infusing you with simmering magic. As a bonus action, you can unleash that magic for 1 minute, during which you gain the following benefits. The spell save DC for your sorcerer spells increases by 1, so that's the number opponents have to meet or beat to resist your spells. You have advantage on the attack rolls of the sorcerer spells you cast. That's pretty good. That's really good, actually. And you can do this twice per long rest. Now, at level 2, you become a font of magic. You tap into the wellspring of magic within yourself. This wellspring is represented by sorcery points, which allow you to create a variety of magical effects. Now, you have 2 sorcery points at level 2, and you gain more as you reach higher levels, as shown in the sorcery points column in the features table. You can't have more sorcery points than the number shown in the table for your level. You regain all expended sorcery points when you finish a long rest. You can use your sorcery points to fuel the options below, along with other features such as meta magic, to use those points. So you can convert sorcery points into spell slots at no action required, but you can expend a spell slot to gain sorcery points equal to the spell slot's level. So, for example, you can turn at this point, you can turn a level 2 spell into 2 sorcery points. Now, creating spell slots. As a bonus action, you can transform unexpended sorcery points into 1 spell slot. Creating spell slots table shows the cost of creating a spell slot of a given level, and it lists the minimum sorcerer level you must be to create the slot. You can create a spell slot no higher than level 5. Any spell slot you create with this feature vanishes once you finish a long rest. So, let's have a look here. Now, at level 1, it's 2 sorcery points, and the minimum sorcery level is 2, and then it increases to 2, 3, and 3, 3, 5, and 5, 4, 5, 6, 7, 5, 7, and 9. Now, meta magic. Because your magic flows from within, you can alter your spells to suit your needs. You gain 2 meta magic options from your choice on the meta magic options later on this class's description. You can use those options to temporarily modify spells you cast. To use an option, you must spend the sorcery points it costs, and you can only use 1 meta magic option on a spell when you cast it unless otherwise noted in one of those options. Whenever you gain a sorcerer level, you can replace one of your meta magic options with one you didn't know, and you get 2 more options at level 10 and 2 more at level 17. Now, at level 3, you're going to get your subclass, and then at level 4, you get your ability score improvement, and then at level 5, you get Sorceress Restoration. When you finish a short rest, you regain expended sorcery points, but no more than a number equal to half your sorcerer level, rounded down. Once you use this feature, you can't do it again until you finish a long rest. So I believe at this point you would get... There's no real half, so I think you just get 2. Now, at level 7, you get Sorcery Incarnate. If you have no uses of innate sorcery left, you can use it if you spend 2 sorcery points when you take the bonus action to activate it. In addition, while your innate sorcery feature is active, you can use up to 2 of your meta magic options on each spell you cast. At level 19, you get your Epic Boon, and at level 20, you get your Arcane Apotheosis. While your innate sorcery feature is active, you can choose 1 meta magic option on each of your turns without spending sorcery points on it. Now, meta magic options. There weren't a whole lot in the previous edition, so I'm hoping they added more. So, at the cost of 1 sorcery point, you get Careful Spell. When you cast a spell that forces other creatures to make a saving throw, you can expend your point to protect some of those creatures from the spell's full force. So, for example, you have no choice but to cast Fireball and one of your buddies is in the way. You can do this to try and protect them a little bit. So, you blow your sorcery point, you choose a number of those creatures up to your charisma modifier to a minimum of 1, and the chosen creature automatically succeeds the saving throw against the spell, and it takes no damage if it would normally take half damage on a successful save. Hi, Bean. You're shaking my camera. It's been a minute since you've been up here. Now, hi. Now, Distance Spell. That also costs 1 sorcery point. When you cast a spell that has a range of at least 5 feet, you can spend 1 sorcery point to double the spell's range, or when you cast a spell that has a range of touch, you can expend a sorcery point to make that spell's range 30 feet. A very popular thing that people would do, don't do that, is to take a couple levels in... Sorry for the shaky camera, you guys. Ick. Something people would like to do is either get Magic Initiate for a cleric, or do a cleric subclass, or get a class in cleric, excuse me. Blah, 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 you know what I mean. And take something, one of their more powerful spells, which is Inflict Wounds, and give that baby some reach, because it normally has a range of touch, but it is one of the most powerful spells you can get at your earliest level. So let's take a look at some of the other options we've got here. And of course we have some gorgeous artwork to go with it. Empowered Spell. Also costs 1 sorcery point. When you roll damage for a spell, you can expend a sorcery point to re-roll the number of the damage die up to your Charisma modifier. And you must use a new roll. You can use Empowered Spell even if you've already used a different meta magic option during the casting of the spell. That's one of those, one of the few exceptions to some of the rules. Now, Extended Spell. At the cost of 1 sorcery point, you make a spell last longer. So, if a spell says it has a casting time of 1 minute or longer, has a duration, excuse me, of 1 minute or longer. Hi, you are just being a little turd today, aren't you? Aren't you, buddy? Where was I? Yes. You double the duration to a maximum of 24 hours. If the affected spell requires concentration, you have advantage on any saving throw you make to maintain that concentration. You are just so disruptive today. I'm sorry about that. So, Heightened Spell. This costs 2 sorcery points. When you cast a spell that forces a creature to make a saving throw, you can spend 2 sorcery points to give one target of the spell disadvantage on the saves against that spell. Quicken Spell, this is a personal favorite. It costs 2 sorcery points, but when you cast a spell that has a casting time of an action, you can spend 2 sorcery points to change the casting time to a bonus action for this casting. You can't modify a spell in this way if you've already cast a spell level 1 or higher on the current turn, nor can you cast a level 1 spell on this turn after modifying a spell in this way. So, just to give you an example, you can typically use this to either do boom, do a cantrip, and then do a full spell, or do a full spell and then a cantrip. Now, Seeking Spell. This only costs 1. If you make an attack roll for a spell and miss, you can spend a sorcery point to re-roll a d20, and you must use the new roll. You can use Seeking Spell even if you've already used a different meta magic option during the casting of the spell. So this is for when you really don't want to miss. Subtle Spell. This is for you more sneaky guys. It costs 1 sorcery point. When you cast a spell, you can spend a sorcery point to cast it without any verbal, somatic, or material components, except material components that are consumed by the spell or have a cost specified in the spell. Now, Transmuted Spell. When you cast a spell that deals a type of damage from the following list, you can spend a sorcery point to change that damage type to one of the other listed types: Acid, Cold, Fire, Lightning, Poison, or Thunder. So you can turn your fireball into a lightning ball, which is something I like to do. Now, Twin Spell. This is another good one. When you cast a spell such as Charm Person that can be cast with a higher level spell slot to target an additional creature, you can spend a sorcery point to increase the spell's effective level by 1. So, this used to say if it only targeted one creature. Now they give an example and specify what that means. Moving right along, we are going to come to our subclasses. Now, Aberrant Sorcery. This used to be Aberrant Mind, if I'm not mistaken. You wield unnatural psionic power. An alien influence has wrapped its tendrils around your mind, giving you psionic power. You can now touch other minds with that power and alter the world around you. Will this power shine from you as a hopeful beacon to others, or will you be a terror to those who feel the stab of your mind? Perhaps a psychic wind from the astral plane carried psionic energy to you? Or you were exposed to the far realm's warping influence. Alternatively, you were implanted with a Mind Flayer tadpole, but your transformation into a Mind Flayer never occurred. Now the tadpole's psionic power is yours. However you acquired this power, your mind is aflame with it. I like the Baldur's Gate reference here. So, psionic spells. Starting out, you gain these spells, and they don't count against the list that you can have prepared. So, at level 3, you get Arms of Hadar, Calm Emotions, Detect Thoughts, Dissonant Whispers, and Mind Sliver. Level 5, you get Hunger of Hadar and Sending. Sending's a good one. Level 7, you get Eavard's Black Tentacles and Summon Aberration. Level 9, you get Rary's Telepathic Bond and Telekinesis. Some very good spells coming out of this. Now, at level 3, you also get Telepathic Speech. You can form a telepathic connection between your mind and the mind of another as a bonus action. So you choose one creature you can see within 30 feet of yourself. You and the chosen creature can communicate telepathically up to a number of miles equal to your charisma modifier. Now, to understand each other, you must each mentally use a language the other knows. The telepathic connection lasts for a number of minutes equal to your sorcerer level, and ends early if you use this ability to form a connection with a different creature. It's not bad, not bad. So, at level 6 you gain Psionic Sorcery. When you cast any level 1 and up spell slot from your Psionic Spells feature, you can cast it by expending a spell slot as normal, or by spending a number of sorcery points equal to the spell's level. If you cast the spell using sorcery points, it requires no verbal or somatic components, and it requires no material components unless they are consumed by the spell or have a cost specified with it. So that's like that's essentially a free metamagic option. At level 6, you gain Psychic Defenses. You have resistance to psychic damage, and you have advantage on saving throws to avoid or end the charmed or frightened condition. Level 14, things get weird. You get your Revelations in Flesh. You can unleash the aberrant truth hidden within yourself. As a bonus action, you can spend 1 sorcery point or more to magically alter your body for 10 minutes. For each sorcery point you spend, you gain one of the following benefits of your choice, the effect of which lasts until the alteration ends. Aquatic Adaptation. You gain swim speed equal to twice your speed, and you can breathe underwater. Gills grow from your neck or flare behind your ears, and your fingers become webbed, or you grow wiggling cilia. Glistening Flight. You gain a fly speed equal to your speed, you can hover, and, as you fly, your skin glistens with mucus or otherworldly light. Delightful. You can see invisible things. You can see any invisible creature within 60 feet of yourself that isn't behind total cover. Your eyes also turn black or become withering sensory tendrils. It's very disturbing. And you also get worm-like movement. Your body, along with any equipment you are wearing or carrying, becomes slimy and pliable. You can move through any space as narrow as 1 inch, and you can spend 5 feet of movement to escape from non-magical restraints or the grappled condition. You're a slippery little fella. At level 18, you gain Warping Implosion. You can unleash a space warping anomaly. As a magic action, you can teleport to an unoccupied space that you can see within 120 feet of yourself. Immediately after you disappear, each creature within 30 feet of the space you left must make a strength saving throw against your spell save DC, and if they fail, they take 3d10 force damage and is pulled straight towards the space you left, ending in an unoccupied space, as close to your former space as possible. On a successful save, they take half damage, and once you use this feature, you can't do it again until you finish a long rest, or you spend 5 sorcery points to restore your use of it. Alright, that's not bad. Not great, but not bad. Now here's an interesting one. It's Clockwork Sorcery. You channel the cosmic forces of order. The cosmic force of order has suffused you with magic. That power arises from Mechanus, or a realm like it, a plane of existence shaped entirely by clockwork efficiency. You or someone from your lineage may have become entangled in the machinations of Modrons, the orderly beings who inhabit the Mechanus. Perhaps your ancestor even took part in the Great Modron March. Whatever its origin within you, the power of order can seem strange to others, but for you, it's part of a vast and glorious system. Now, level 3, you get your spells. You get Aid, Alarm, Lesser Restoration, Protection from Good and Evil. And then level 5, you get Dispel Magic and Protection from Energy. Level 7, you get Freedom of Movement and Summon Construct. And level 9, you get Greater Restoration and Wall of Force. In addition, you can consult the Manifestations of Order table and choose or randomly determine a way your connection to your order manifests while you are casting any of your sorcerer spells. So let's have a look here. So you can roll a d6, or you can just pick one. So spectral cogwheels hover behind you. The hands of a spinning clock are in your eyes. Your skin glows with a brassy sheen. Floating equations and geometric objects overlay your body. Your spellcasting focus temporarily takes the form of a tiny clockwork mechanism. The ticking of gears or ringing of a clock can be heard by you and those affected by your magic. That is annoying. Do not pick that one. Now, restore balance. At level 3, your connection to the plane of absolute order allows you to equalize chaotic moments. When a creature you can see within 60 feet of yourself is about to roll a d20 with advantage or disadvantage, you can take a reaction to prevent the roll from being affected by advantage or disadvantage. That is actually pretty handy. That's not bad. Alright, and let's see what else they get. You can use this feature a number of times equal to your charisma modifier, and you regain all expended uses when you finish a long rest. Now, at level 6, you become a Bastion of Law. You can tap into the grand equation of existence to imbue a creature with a shimmering shield of order. As a magic action, you can expend 1 to 5 sorcery points to create a magical ward around yourself or another creature you can see within 30 feet of yourself. The ward is represented by a number of d8s equal to the number of sorcery points spent to create it. When the warded creature takes damage, it can expend a number of those dice, roll them, and reduce the damage taken by the total rolled on those dice. This ward lasts until you finish a long rest, or until you use the feature again. That's really handy! That's very supporty, I love it. Now, at level 14, you get Trance of Order. You gain the ability to align your consciousness with the endless calculations of Mechanus. As a bonus action, you can enter this state for 1 minute, and for the duration, attack rolls against you can't benefit from advantage. And whenever you make a d20 test, you can treat the roll of 9 or lower on the d20 as a d10. Once you use this feature, you can't do it again until you finish a long rest, or you spend 5 sorcery points to restore your use of it. That's really good. Now, Clockwork Cavalcade? I don't know, you read it. You momentarily summon spirits of order to expunge disorder around you. As a magic action, you summon the spirits in a 30-foot cube originating from you. The spirits look like Modrons or other constructs of your choice. The spirits are intangible and invulnerable, and they create the effects below within the cube before vanishing. Once you use this action, you can't do it again until you finish a long rest or expend 7 sorcery points. Heal. The spirits can restore up to 100 hit points, divided as you choose among any number of creatures of your choice within the cube. That is amazing. Repair. Any damaged objects entirely in the cube are repaired instantly. And Dispel. Every spell of level 6 and lower ends on creatures and objects of your choice in the cube. That is support as fuck. I love it. Now we're delving into some of my stuff here. Draconic Sorcery is one of my personal favorites. I've done it a few times. You breathe the magic of dragons. Your innate magic comes from the gift of a dragon. Perhaps an ancient dragon facing death bequeathed some of its magical power to you or your ancestor. You might have absorbed magic from a site infused with dragon's power, or perhaps you handled a treasure taken from a dragon's hoard that was steeped in draconic power, or you might have a dragon for an ancestor. The way I explained it for one character was, we had just, as a group, killed a dragon, and my character just got covered in the blood, and that's how they became a Draconic Sorcerer. Now, at level 3, you gain Draconic Resilience. Magic in your body manifests physical traits of your Draconic gift. Your hit point maximum increases by 3, and it increases by 1 whenever you gain another Sorcerer level. Parts of you are also covered by dragon-like scales, while you aren't wearing armor. Your base armor class equals 10, plus your dex and your charisma modifiers. That is why this is one of the favorite subclasses for Sorcerer. Now, at level 3, you gain your Draconic spells. So you get, at level 3, Alter Self, Chromatic Orb, Command, and Dragon's Breath. Level 5, you get Fear and Fly. Level 7, you gain Arcane Eye and Charm Monster. Level 9, you get Legend Lore and Summon Dragon. Now, at level 6, you get Elemental Affinity. Your Draconic magic has an affinity with a damage type associated with dragons. Choose one of the types, Acid, Cold, Fire, Lightning, or Poison. You have resistance to that damage type, and when you cast a spell that deals damage of that type, you get to add your Charisma modifier to 1 damage roll of that spell. At level 14, you get Dragon Wings. As a bonus action, you can cause Draconic Wings to appear on your back. They last for 1 hour or until you dismiss them, no action required, and for the duration you have a fly speed of 60 feet. Once you use this feature, you can't use it again until you finish a long rest, unless you spend 3 sorcery points to do it again. Now, at level 18, as we go over here, you get Draconic Companion. You can cast Summon Dragon without material components. You can also cast it once without a spell slot, and you regain the ability to cast it this way when you finish a long rest. Whenever you start casting this spell, you can modify it so it doesn't require concentration, and if you do so, the spell's duration becomes 1 minute for that casting. That's pretty busted. That's a very powerful spell. So, this one, you love it, you hate it, but either way it's here. It's Wild Magic Sorcery. You unleash chaos. Your innate magic stems from the forces of chaos that underlie the order of creation. You or an ancestor might have endured exposure to raw magic, perhaps through a planar portal leading you to Limbo or the Elemental Planes, or you were blessed by a fey being marked by a demon, or your magic may be a fluke with no apparent cause. Whatever its source, this magic churns within you, waiting for any and all outlets. So, at level 3 you get Wild Magic Surge. Your spellcasting can unleash surges of untamed magic. Once per turn, you roll 1d20 immediately after you cast a sorcerer spell with a spell slot. If you roll a 20, you roll on the Wild Magic Surge table to create a magical effect. If the magical effect is a spell, it is too wild to be affected by your meta magic. Level 3, you get Tides of Chaos. This is a useful one. You can manipulate chaos itself to give yourself advantage on one d20 test before you roll the d20. Once you do so, you must cast a sorcerer spell with a spell slot, or finish a long rest before you can use this feature again. If you do cast a sorcerer spell with a spell slot before you finish a long rest, you automatically roll on the Wild Magic Surge table. I like that. A big thing was people wanted to use the Wild Magic table, and there, in previous editions, there wasn't a whole lot of forced use of it. Now, at level 6, you get Bend Luck. You have the ability to twist fate using your wild magic. Immediately after another creature you can see rolls the d20 for a d20 test, you can take a reaction to spend one sorcery point to roll 1d4 and apply the number rolled as a bonus or a penalty, your choice, to d20 roll. I like that. I love being a little shit. Now, at level 14, you get Controlled Chaos. You gain a modicum of control over the surges of your wild magic. Whenever you roll on the Wild Magic Surge table, you can roll twice and use either number. I like that. Okay. Now, at level 18, you get Tamed Surge. Immediately after you cast a sorcerer's spell with a spell slot, you can create an effect of your choice on that table. You can choose any effect in the table except for the final row. And if the chosen effect involves a roll, you must make it. Once you use this feature, you can't do so again until you finish a long rest. Now this is something I like here. They have your Wild Magic Surges on the pages for you, which is really great. So, I'm kind of short on time today, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hold this here for you guys to look at for 1 second, so that way you can pause it, look at it if you want, and then I'll do the same thing over here. Alright. So, next up is the infamous Warlock. I once ran a campaign where I had 3 of these suckers at the table. Well, thank you for watching. Feel free to like, subscribe, do all that stuff. And I hope you all have a great day. I'll see you guys on the next one, and just, you know, have a good one. Alright, bye.